ask that you look at my Comanche beef. He had a tragedy in his family, and gosh, you give him the strength to deal with this in the best way you can. Oglala, it is in your hands how the world turns and the things that happen to Oglala. Oglala, as humans, give us the strength to deal with the troubles that come before us.
Mr. Dillon, could you give us some words of encouragement?
You know, the more you watch news and the more you hear things, this whole world is going to the bad side pretty fast. I think it's each one of us have to be more kind and more friendly to people and try to make a change for the better. So today I hope we have a good meeting. I hope Sonia got some rest last night. She's all refreshed and ready to go, because some days she's just not in the mood, you know. So I pray that and hope that we have a better day today for everybody on the reservation. Thank you.
Thank both of you, and have the secretary do the roll call, please.
Brian Jumpanigo.
Excuse me.
Heather Lunderman. Julian Spotted
Present.
James Cross. Craig Dillon.
Yes. Here.
George Streamer.
Excuse me.
Sonia Lynn Weston.
Here.
David Kelly.
Present.
Troy Little. He's here. Conrad Bolster. Paul Little Whiteman. Jeremy Rosales.
Here.
Norman Standing Soldier.
Here.
David Queer. Anna Halverson.
9 members present. Well, we have an agenda.
B. Frando.
Here.
Garfield Still.
10 members present. Well, we have an agenda for land office, Moses Scott resolution,
Hold on.
water resources, EPP, Bombing Range, Flint Hills, 7 generations, and I put the grazing rate on there. All of you should have got a copy of the email, and then I passed out the letter that came from Harry. Anybody else have anything you want to add? Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, I got the old Yellowbird Road up there on Twin Table.
Okay. Sonia?
The dams, Parks and Rec, I get calls about the one at White Clay Dam, the way it's being littered and all of that. They want to know who's responsible for that.
I think what problem, you just get some trash bags and get out there? Mr. Dillon?
That Mike Keegan issue about the land that was taken, condemned and taken out
Recording in progress.
in the Tut Hill area. We were going to do some research on that, why the state gets the revenue for the hunting and everything out there.
Okay. Anybody else? Right, Julie?
We would like an update from solid waste in Pine Ridge District. We're running out of home site leasing space, but we have a lot of abandoned trailer homes in our district, but we're running out of home site lease places to lease.
Somebody better call solid waste and tell them their own. Anybody else?
One more.
All right.
I think, remember that check that the president received
Oh, yeah.
during the powwow? Could we get that on for an update? We might need to kind of address, see what we can use that for specific. I just want to add that on there. What is it called?
CKP.
CKP.
Anybody else?
Dave,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to add on the Porcupine District Economic Development land that was brought to council last regular.
Okay.
And was forwarded here to land, so. And I know the copies aren't here right now, but they should be coming in, and hopefully by the time we get to that line item, we'll have them printed out for you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Need a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Ty. Second by Beef and Mr. Sampson. All in favor? Unanimous. OSD land.
East District, Vern Standing Soldier Jr., north of Georgetown Housing, junkyard to the east.
Wait, now you need a mic.
Eagle Nest District, Vern Standing Soldier Jr., north of Georgetown Housing, junkyard to the east, near some farm ground, nice flat area. We'll need approach, and we'll need road bladed, water and power nearby.
Question, is that land being leased now by anybody?
This area. We could look into it, but we didn't really put anyone on like hay ground or nothing like that, so.
I think what we need to do, that needs to be checked out, because I think we've taken a couple of home sites that are by water. And if there's no water in those units, nobody's gonna lease the land. So we need to consider that. Right, that should be automatic, because that's what's going on out there. We just can't approve them and then forget about the rest of the income for the time. So,
Hang on.
go ahead.
I'll let Beef talk.
Go ahead, Gabe.
On this here, did we gave some,
Mike,
did we give some leases out in this area too?
I don't know.
Approved to other people.
Yeah, we would have to look at the office to know.
Beef, we're waiting on you. Oh, go ahead, Norman.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Norman, second by Mr. Randall. All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, very much standing soldier.
Oglala District, Tyrell Blacksmith, number 6 community. Electricity and water will come from housing to the west. No fence, site will need road and approach.
I don't know. He was young, listening, I know I seen him earlier.
You went upstairs. You know?
Yeah.
Hold on, go try it. Yeah, hold on, go try it.
Go to that one, next one. One go?
Go to Pass Creek.
Pasker District, Lacey Dubray. East of Allen, electricity, water, 1.5 miles to the south. VIA 22 must go through auto gate, no fence, road needs work.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Dillon, second by Ms. Lilhawk Weston. All in favor? Unanimous. Are you gonna go back to the other one? Or the Oglala one? Or you wait?
All right.
Okay.
Wait for Troy.
Okay, wait for Walter. All right.
What about guitars?
Pass Creek District, Jesse Forbear. Site is 1.5 miles east of Allen, past Pass Creek Church. Site is a rough area, needs level with other homes to the west and east, water and power nearby.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Dillon, second by
Second.
Sonia. All in favor?
Pass Creek District, Elaine Forbear, southeast side of the site has one deep draw, would recommend a different site. Water and power to the west, will need road bladed, other homes to the north and west, fiber optic line to the north.
Julian?
With that being said, are they just wanting to live next to each other?
Yeah,
So is that space next to it available or no?
the next one is the other person that wants to live there.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Dillon, second by Ms. Weston. All in favor? None.
Pass Creek District, Joaquin Bay Hacker, 1.5 miles east of Allen, past Pass Creek Church. Site has a decent road going through it on the west side, nice flat area, power to the north and south of site, water to the west.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Dillon, second by
Second.
Sonia. All in favor? None. On this next one, was this checked out?
Yeah, and we called him and he said he wants to live there. And I guess his in-laws are the ones giving him trouble about it, so that's pretty cool.
Who's his in-laws?
I don't know his in-laws, I didn't catch their names.
I
That's
think
what
we
he
got
said.
an idea. Well, you guys did
Yeah.
investigate it?
Yeah, there was the gooseneck, mobile home there, but it's not there no more, they moved it, so it's just empty now.
So it's just an empty lot, right?
Yeah, yep.
Porcupine District, Wayne Stover, 2.8 miles east of Porcupine, Gooseneck mobile home on site, needs road, no fence, water and power, 1 mile south, undisturbed grassland.
Motion.
Motion by Ty, second by Mr. Randall, Mr. Rosales. All in favor? Unanimous.
Wakbomri District, Shonda Morrison, 1 mile north of Pine Ridge, half mile east of Highway 18, site is on top of hill, needs levels, water and power to the west, has road to the site, tree line to the north and east.
I'm gonna motion to table this, send back to our district. They're running to review all these. Yeah.
Motion to table, second by, you tabling or
No.
question? Go ahead.
Yep. I believe she has her trailer house up there already.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, it's another one?
Yeah, it's a different one.
Remember what came and wanted us to pay
This
that,
one, right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about be the same area, and our district has concerns, so.
Okay, so they're next to each other?
Yeah. Motion to table forward back to our
Motion
district.
to second by Julian. All in favor to table? Unanimous.
Wakbomri District, Sky Pagola, 4.3 miles west of Pine Ridge, north of BIA 32. Site has approach, needs road, power is 1 mile north. No water nearby, other home sites to the north, fiber optic line to the south.
I'm gonna motion to table again forward back to our district.
Motion by Sonia, second by Julian. All in favor? Do them, Oglala.
Yeah.
Yeah, do them, Oglala.
So, did we do that or no?
No, we're good right now.
Troy's here now.
Oglala District, Tyra Blacksmith, number 6 community, electricity and water will come from housing to the west. No fence, site will need road and approach.
Motion by Troy, second by Mr. Randall, all in favor? And Mr. Dennison, all in favor?
First National Bank.
I don't know about this.
First National
Oglala
Bank.
District, Moana Gutierrez, West of Allen Housing, no road.
West of Allen
That should
County.
be past Creek.
Yeah.
It should be past Creek. Okay.
Well, past Creek.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Dillon, second by Sonia, all in favor? Unanimous.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I know I brought this up already, however, are the applicants being notified the costs included when they choose these sites?
Yep, every time.
Okay,
Yep.
because with one pole it's 8,000, and then they'll come to us and they'll ask for assistance, help pay for it.
Yeah, they know how much they have to pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Greenlaw, one real quick. Mr. Ralph, Mr. Greenlaw.
I just feel like I need to ask, is there any reason why there's no license group leases going through?
There's probably a few that need to get EPP checked and THPO yet, so there'll be some pretty quick here.
Mr. Greenlaw?
Thank you, Chair. I'm coming to you as a citizen of the Pine Ridge District. Back in July 28th, you passed a motion and it was approved for land lease for me for residential. And I'm coming back today because I'm asking that it be changed to the amendments that were just passed in our secretarial election for the 30 to 50 year lease. And the reason why I'm asking that is because lending companies are not okay with the 5, 5, and 5. They would rather us have a 30-year lease for a residential lease. So, okay, I lost my.
I know mine went off too.
Okay, but I do have the track number and stuff if you want me to read that.
That's interesting because I know I went to the area office, but then the council has never adopted that, so we'll have to check. I don't know if Mr. Guns or not, but we'll keep that in. You guys are gonna have to, the land office is gonna have to start putting them on
The new ordinance.
yeah. Julianne, or did you done your sheet?
Did you want me to read that track for the record or?
No, that's all right. We're giving this work for land office. Go ahead, Julianne.
I would ask until we make those amendments. I believe they were supposed to do it in law and order on Wednesday. But also, when I applied for a lease, I received the amendment under veterans. So they give you the 30 year, recognizing that a lot of lending companies require that versus the 5 year. So would that help in the meantime, or?
I don't know. The last time I went to the BIA, they said that all they would give me is the 5, 5, and 5 one. And that was already declined by First Tribal Lending. They won't accept the 5, 5, and 5 one.
When was that?
About a month or two ago, about 2 months ago. Right as they were coming out of their lockdown, number for coming back to work.
Superintendent, can you answer that for us?
Good morning, my name is Gina Duville and I'm the superintendent for the Pine Ridge Agency. They shouldn't be treating each application differently. So maybe if you can come to our office and we can take a look at what is in your case file and go from there. But they have been accepting those with the 5-year extensions.
No, the lending company won't, First Tribal Lending won't accept those 5, 5, and 5s. They want the 30 to the 50-year lease. I got documentation from Tribal Lending on that. First Tribal Lending. That is the issue that's holding up them doing any loans for any of our tribal members is what they're saying.
See, and Mr. Greenwald's a vet, so he should fall under that ordinance anyway.
Question.
Right, Sonny.
So the question is, people wanted the 5 secretarial amendments.
Right.
And those were approved. We did get the letter from the BIA. So I guess the question is, one of the amendments was the lease, what Mr. Greenwald is talking about, that one amendment on the lease that goes up to that, you know, is it 30 years?
Yeah.
And so that's what he's wanting to know today. When does these go into effect, or when do you, because right now, we have a 9-member council that's going to come on board this coming election, because that was one of the amendments that was passed. So are we saying the tribe has to approve of these two? Because I don't think that ever was. You know, the DIA did give us a letter saying the amendments passed. And so what's our next step here to that? Do we have to pass an ordinance to say that this goes into effect? Or does the DIA just, you guys look at the amendment and go by that by when he's applying for this residential lease to, so the funder will say, well, yeah, we can go fund you because you're going to give us a 30-year lease.
Right.
So that's the question today, Gina.
Okay, from what I understood, that those were in effect immediately. It was just a matter of the tribe updating their code and constitution.
And that will be on Wednesday. I think we are going to be doing that with the amendments to make those,
Code revision.
yeah, code revision. So I think that was his question. So once that happens, then it will be recognized, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's trying to get a home mortgage out there that's being held up because of that rule, like the old one.
Deputy? Julia?
And I guess I just have a question with that amendment. Does that change the leasing fees for the residents or the person who are paying for that lease? Are they going to pay for the 30 years up front, or are they going to continue to pay the 5 years? Because when I lease, I'm paying ahead, and I was told I can't pay ahead, but I pay ahead anyway. So does that change the lease? Does the leasee pay 30 years versus every 5 years?
So those payments are accepted on an annual basis. If you pay in more, then that amount will be returned to you according to the lockbox rules. So it's not going to increase. I mean, the tribe has their own schedule on the amounts that are charged for leases.
But I guess what I'm asking is, now that it's 30 years, because with the VA, they require the 30 years, well, that's when you have to go with the amendment. But does the leasee pay the 30 years, or is it continued every 5 years for 30 years?
Yeah.
It's every 5 years.
Yes, every 5 years for 30 years, annually.
It just increased to 30.
You know, I think we need to get that in writing. Because every time we do something, something comes up in the Bureau. So could you put that in writing to us?
Yeah.
Because our people getting jumped around, because I know some people that has paid 5 years in advance. And now you're saying that they could only pay 1 year, once a year. So this has to be clear for our people.
Right, because they told me I couldn't pay ahead, and I said, well, I don't see why we can't when we have the options or the ability of it. Yeah, the mics keep going out, I'm not sure it's gonna.
Go ahead, Chief.
Well, Julianne's mic's up. That 5-5 thing might confuse people again. I don't know why we keep on putting the 5-5 thing back in there, because that's not what was stated in the amended, the amendment that was made. It said nothing about 5-5 and 5.
So yeah, you're correct, now that I think about it, it's just going to be the 30 years.
Yeah.
And
And then
coming
paying annually,
Yeah.
yes.
Annual payment.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm okay with that too.
I guess that has to be worked out, but if Julianne is saying the VA is making them pay in advance, well then, but that's gonna have to be worked out.
No, no, no. The BIA is saying I cannot pay in advance.
Right. But you said the VA.
No, the VA just required the 30, that's why I got the amendment for these.
Did that satisfy your question, Mr. Greenwood?
Yes, that means Wednesday we've got some work to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're holding people up.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent, can you come back up to the mic again? You got one more song to sing.
One last good song.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the Muzzlescott resolution. The committee approved to cancel the Muzzlescott lease. We sent it to executive board. They passed it. Now BIA is saying we have to pass the tribal council. That's what I was told on the phone last week. Mr. Steele was in the soup's office, so why isn't executive committee resolutions any good?
It's not the fact that it's not any good, it's the solicitor requested, she said eventually we're going to need a full tribal resolution by the governing body,
We should get that in writing.
not just the land committee.
Well, it wasn't the land committee, it was the executive committee. Let me explain something to you. Once, we approved the minutes at a regular session council meeting. We have the council minutes and we have the executive board minutes along with their resolutions. That's approved then. So we're saying that's approved when you approve them executive committee resolutions. So we're approved, you want us to approve it 2 times, once by the executive, then by the council when we approve the minutes. Now you want to come back to the full council again.
My apologies, but those were the instruction that I was given by the solicitor. I can explain that to her and see if it changes her mind. But I just wanted to let you know that we did, today is, we started the first process in our, in that request to cancel the business lease. So that letter will go out today to Muzzlescott by certified mail and by email and regular mail.
Okay, just in case, then I think we need to take action here to and have that go, in case they don't recognize it, to take to council, I guess.
A motion to forward that Muzzlescott lease to the full tribal council. I don't know if we're gonna do it on the 14th.
No, the regular
Again,
session.
regular session at the end of the
I'll
meeting.
second.
Motion made, second, right. All in favor? All
I
in
have a
favor?
question.
Go ahead.
I have a question for, I would like for this body to receive a writing, in writing as well, why the solicitor will not recognize our executive board resolutions when they are still approved. Because that's the hiccup we always run into, is when somebody new comes in or has a different requirement, it changes and it slows down the process for the tribe. So then we end up having to explain why things are not being pushed through smoothly. So I would like in writing from the solicitor, the reason, the justifications why our resolutions that are the same as our council resolutions are not supported.
Is that your motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I will get that into her today.
Thank you.
Can we have that back by next land meeting?
Yes.
Thank you. Water resources.
Good morning, my name is Reno Red Cloud, I'm with the Oglala Sioux Tribe Water Resource Department. Today I have 3 items. I'm glad that the conversation was just held just now about the approval process with the BIA, because there's some handouts out that were given to you. The first one I'm going to look at is the August 10th to Mr. Todd Haig, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Great Plains Regional Office, Natural Resource Division, subject to request for extension of period of performance for BIA FY25 grant number A25AB00254, titled the Tribal Climate Resilience Non-Potable water and drought mitigation projects. Today I'm gonna request or ask for approval from the land committee to extend a project that I've had since fiscal year 25. And I came here several times explaining the red tape process that I'm going through. I haven't really, how would you say, kicked off the full scope of work of this project because I'm still being held back by internal control issues. So I'm glad the financial management plan is being reviewed because I think I requested some of my comments from a director to the committee that's reviewing it, that we need to streamline this process. Because for me to be sitting here in FY26 and still not fully implementing a grant because of the contract administration process is a deterrent for a program to perform duties for the Oglala Sioux tribe in the best interest of tribal climate resilience. Because I'm trying to do is get these older wells from rural water that they no longer using because of the arsenic rule went from 50 to 10, so they decommissioned them. But I want to put pumps back in them for drought mitigation, for fire suppression, for cattle watering, for construction purposes. But yet I'm still in the process of administration approval. And I came here many times, and I brought it to the table, but it's still a lingering process. So I'm doing this letter to Todd Haig today to request an extension. The deadline for this project is September 30th next month, but I'm going to ask him to extend it to September 30th, 2027.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Mr. Rico, where are you getting held up at?
I'm getting held up because I'm requesting a contract employee, and it's went to the treasurer's office, and it's never been responded to yet. But just this whole process alone, it's taken its time through the grants committee. It's being held back through them. It's being held back through different components of the internal controls. And I think, I know you guys are in the revision process, having working sessions, but, I in the back of my mind, we built the mini Wachoni water project, the 90s and 2000s. And back then, with all that appropriated funding to get done to construct these water lines, towers, storage stations, booster stations, we had special sessions at the beginning when you got the funding. I went through all the contract administration, all the contract employees it's going to take, all the internal controls manuals, compliance back then. So we had a process because we didn't want to slow down the construction because next year we're going to be getting more appropriations to add on to the project development. But now I think we're at a restriction where it's taking too long, and I'd like to see a streamlined process, given a time frame or an upgrade of contract administration.
So right now, until we can pass the financial management at full council, there is a plan to remove the grants committee from that process so that we can streamline it. And that's why I asked, where is this being held up at? So we can identify where it stopped, and we can follow up on our end.
Okay, the history behind this, there's only 2 staff members, there's me and my secretary. And right now I'm so multitasked and overwhelmed that I'm working with Morrison and Merrily out of Great Falls, Montana, Craig Nowak. And we did the assessment, we did the engineering, we went out and assessed, we did a cost analysis of what the parts are. but the actual deliverable, I need to have a contract employee to assist me. I took it to Human Resources, to Michelle. She told me to take it to the legal department, which I did. The legal department saying, well, Steve Gunn was part of this, to procure it through a section of the procurement manual to work with the treasurer on not me having to advertise it. But now that I'll get approval for this extension, I can request an advertisement for this position in accordance to the policies and procedures. But you can see the frustration that I'm having, because I've worked with the tribe for many years, and I've seen the process work before when I was at Rural Water with Minnie with Tony. But now that I'm at Water Resources, a different program, it's, how'd you say this? The process, administrative process has changed, and it's a deterrent for a program to have to go through this much red tape. I call it red tape.
You done, Julian?
Yep, thank you.
Sonia?
What Reno is asking for is, and he did bring it in front of us, is a sole source contract. And only the treasurer can approve that.
Right.
So we did put it back to the treasurer. She should act on it.
Right.
At least give you a yes or no to it. But since she hasn't done that, then there's a timeline, and there's a time frame. So now he has to ask for an extension on this so that he can do what needs to get done to get this project done. This involves you guys as community, your valves, everything that pertains to Pine Ridge community water system. And we should be on top of this. We should be pushing this, you know. And so Treasurer did give you a yes or no to say, yes, you can use a sole source contract, because she's the only one that can do that. But, you know, I don't know, Reno, I feel bad that you're in this situation. But like Councilwoman Spotted Bear said, we are going to make those changes. We already did through our financial management. So I'm hoping this council really takes a hard look at that. Because we do need to make things better for our programs, to streamline things and not worry about who's in these positions. You know, because it's not working. I hate to say that, but it's not working. So I'm just going to say today that, you know, if that's what you want, I'm going to motion to approve of your extension, because now that's where it is, and it needs to get done. A motion to...
Motion by Sonia, second. Good, Ronnie. Somebody needs to start charging the mic.
I'm just a little bit confused here. I was going along good when Reno was explaining it, but Sonia brought up water supply for our village, and you're talking about water supply for cattle. What are we on here?
This is a tribal climate resilience grant. It's for responding to climate change. It's for non-potable use. It's not for drinking water. It's for cattle watering, it's for BIA fire suppression. It's got, you know, I came to this body many times with the grant description states, but it's a drought mitigation. And right now we are in a drought.
Okay, so one affects the other.
Yes.
Okay, so now you should explain it like that.
Sorry about that. I knew too much about
Okay,
the people.
let's move on. Yeah, let's move on here.
Motion already.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor to approve so he can submit. All in favor.
You gotta put it in pictures for him.
I know, you don't understand.
Way off subject.
All in favor?
He likes to
What
wanna
do they put?
argue.
Okay, next.
Okay, the second one is a letter.
Don't confuse them, but you're good, we're watering with your deal, so don't confuse them.
Okay, okay. I'm speaking to you as the Water Resource Director. I'm not speaking on my past. But today, I've got another project proposal. This is a proposal for CY of FY27. And part of the protocol is I meet with USGS. We met a couple weeks ago. We identify what we're going to need for project funding through the Bureau of Indian Affairs. This is not my administrative recontracting. This is a project proposal. This stream gauge has been going on since I started at Water Resources in 2013. That this is an annual project proposal to identified, it's a water resource management tool for cubic feet per second velocity. Then it, through those stream gauges, we know what the ecosystem is, we know what the water availability is, and then we know what's flowing through our water resources. So, but this has been ongoing, and this is just a protocol that I go through. There's been a change up there in Aberdeen VIA. Last year, I think I worked with Wayne Stone, which he's left, and then Olivia Steve, I worked with her, but now she's gone. So I'm working with Todd Hay. Okay, and then I CC with Gina DeVille too, so. Yes.
I'll motion to approve. Second. Chair.
What?
Second. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, second by Juliana. All in favor?
One more. Okay, this next one is the environmental health technical team meeting, which I'm a part of, I'm the chairman of it. And we just had a meeting at the casino on July 22nd, and we had 3 action items. And I think Mr. Sean Swallow is going to be presenting after me on the agenda, but there was a presentation done by a lady that works with Emma Roloski to present to the land committee. She's probably going to present later in Sean's and
It's in the packet that I gave out.
Yeah.
okay, it's on erosion on the badlands, the northern sector of the reservation. She's going to be giving you a presentation on the erosion and then the water availability and the application that Sean's working with her on. He'll probably go more detail on his presentation, but she came to the tech team, she presented. It's a good project. We approved of it as a tech team, so we moved it on to the land committee. That's one of our action items for the tech team, is to get that approved and moved on, but she'll go into more detail when Sean gets on. And then our second action item was a motion by some tech team programs. Ramon Bear intercepted by Mr. Hernandez to call a meeting with the environmental technical team concerning compliance of existing ordinances and laws to programs for revenue programs included Artero, IHS, Utilities Commission, Solid Waste. These programs had an issue and brought it to the tech team that we wanted to have a meeting with Terrell and all the programs, so the revenue, these are all revenue programs that they could provide services to the tribe through their programs, through their revenues. But I think individually they're having issues, and I don't know how the council is addressing that, but this is just a concern with the tech team that, okay, we're having concerns because our revenues being messed with, yeah. Okay, but this is just a report, so, go ahead.
Is the concern from this body withdrawing money from the revenue portion of the accounts to fund activities such as a powwow or anything else outside of its restricted requirement?
No, wasn't in that detail. All they were really concerned was operating costs. So as environmental health technical team representatives for their programs, that we could
2% stuff and making sure that it's on those contracts.
Bob Billy, 7 years or 7 generations. We were at the meeting, and I think there's a concern about making sure the contracts have those percentages listed into the contract. So there's 2% for solid waste, 1% for whatever those fees are. We just want to make sure that they're included in all the contracts that are coming through, so they have the ability to collect that. That's a big concern with some of those, because we have a lot of contracts going through that a lot of folks, a lot of contractors don't know those fees are. We just wanted to make sure that those are in those
That
contracts.
makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm the chairman representative, but I do not know sometimes the full details, and I'm glad that Bob's here. But I'm just bringing them to the, okay, the third action item is motion by Tyler Yellowboy, second by Mr. Hernandez, to have the U.S. Wildland Fire Service to be exempt from the burn ban for hazardous fuels reduction. Is anyone here from the BIA Fire Department? I think what they were looking at was having exemptions for certain,
Hazardous fuels reduction.
yes, and I think one of them was over there by wage bill. Different areas that they're,
We gave them permission to get rid of that not 2 weeks ago or a month ago. When the fire department- Yeah, they was here, that could be.
They just need some kind of clarification or something from the committee so that they know that they are,
We gave them that.
they do have that.
They was,
The guys that
they
we
were
had.
standing right where you guys, two guys were singing. Wait, Julia.
Right, and I want to just address too the wood chippers that were bought, because I know emergency management was talking about creating some, or generating some revenue from that as well, utilizing those wood chippers, so I don't know what the holdup is on that.
you know what, land committee, I'm gonna make a recommendation at the tech team that if I present issues for different programs or agencies, that they come with me to explain themselves.
Go ahead, Martin.
But that defeats the purpose of you being a chairman. You're bringing forward everything from the tech team.
Otherwise, you
Just
would
bring them.
I wish I could.
Otherwise, I don't think you're at those meetings.
But anyway, I just wanted the approval of the report.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Tony, second by Ty. Julia, all in favor?
Thank you very much.
EPP. EPP.
Bart?
Good morning. My name is Chance Weston. I'm the director of the STEPP program. Just came forward with an item this morning pertaining to the JOM building that got bid out to get taken down. Has been approved. Went through quite a few processes to get to that point, but we just need action to move it forward.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Julia, second by Ty. All in favor? Unanimous?
I have a question.
Does that make
Right.
sense? This one?
So with that, I know that goes to the BIA, and speaking with Mr. Martin, he was going to put the homes that are abandoned up on Baker's Hill on the priority list. Is he working with you as far as moving those along? Because I brought up that Pine Ridge district, we're running out of home site leasing.
So I was speaking with the chief of staff about that, and then she thought that was a good idea also. So I think we're trying to start those conversations. Because I just came on, like I said, about a month ago or so, so I'm just trying to move all that forward if I can, but no, I think that's important.
Well, I think we already did the motion. And
We're having, sorry, we're having a meeting at 1 with the BI also, and I think
Okay.
that's part of that conversation, so.
Okay.
Hold up, we got one question. I don't know, you probably don't know you was in there, but Delinda was supposed to have started on the environmental protection code for the simple reason that we can, it was on the dispensaries, 'cause since the BIA wasn't signing off, we needed a up-to-date environmental protection code to run that through, what did we call it, land office, you remember? So you guys were gonna take care of all the leases for the dispensaries. But anyway, we need an up-to-date one, and that's pretty old, so.
I believe that's been mentioned, although I'll have you update.
Yeah,
That's next
it's
time.
been about 2 years now since they've been working on it, so.
Okay.
Norman?
I think it was almost 2 years ago, they brought forward motion from Wounded Knee reps to take that building down over there at the memorial site. Are you responsible for that? That round building below the burial site?
That hasn't been brought to my attention yet, but I can definitely look into that.
Yeah, that was a motion, I think,
Yeah.
a year and a half ago.
Okay, that's something I can definitely follow up.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have anything for chance? Thank you.
Thank you.
Tommy Age.
Good morning, Land Committee. I've got a resolution in place that Ms. Juliana's gonna read for me, I hope.
Okay. I'll just read the, do you want to give the explanation and then we'll do the motion?
This resolution is in support of the contract that I've been fighting for the last 7 weeks. And we're behind the power curve because of this cybersecurity and this SAMS.gov, and it's in a real big time crunch. There's an email on there saying that I could lose my funding, or the funding for this by September 1. So I'm trying to get it through land and then right on the council for approval. And because of this holdup that this didn't get done, it took 1 hour and 20 minutes to finish what we had to do for 7 weeks. And now it's done. It's in place.
Oh, you got it done?
Yes. And now we're behind the power curve to try to get it done.
Right. Sure.
Good.
So I'll read the heading, because my motion is to approve the resolution and send it to the August 14th special for approval. It's the motion to approve the resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe, approving the Oglala Sioux Tribe Badlands Bombing Range Department to undertake the solicitation, offer and awarded funding contract with the U.S. Air Force through their fiscal agent and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Albuquerque District for a 5-year period beginning no later than September 1, 2026 through September 1, 2031 in the amount of $517,000.00. That's my motion to send it to August 14th.
Motion by Juliana, second by Sonia and Ty. I just got one question, is that 517,000 per year or for the 5 years?
5 years.
Okay, just to get that.
And there's a funding in the back page
Okay.
that'll tell you year by year.
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous. Unanimous.
Okay, I can't get her online, but we have a lady named Emma. She's a graduate student, and she's out here wanting to do soil tests out in the Badlands South Unit. She's going to give a lot of data back to us. She's been out there taking pictures and whatnot, but no harm, no foul. She just wants to do, and it's in this permit. She just wants to do studies and give a lot of information back to the tribe. Land, water, weeds, plants, everything.
Right, Juliana?
I guess because it's the bombing range, will you be working directly with her?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, does that require due diligence for her to do that? I mean, she's going to be going through and
She will be signing a waiver, which is 9619, stating that if she's out there on her own, she's at her own risk, but I will be there. That's part of, it's a tribal ordinance.
And I guess my other question is, the samples that she takes, who will own them and where does that go from here?
That will go straight to the tribe. And wherever I don't know where she's going with it, but she just wants to help the tribe and do the studies. That was her comments to us in the tech team. She was on, I can't get her on right now, but she would be able to give you this. I have the presentation I can send to you all, but I was trying to get her on to let her speak what she could, but I can't get I don't have the Zoom link.
I don't know how the committee feels, but I think I would like to hear.
Which is fine, we can come back for that, yes.
Okay.
Oh, hold on, let me do that too.
Welcoming everybody on the reservation.
Yes, the bar too. Lord's looking to ban.
Well, she's on her.
How much money did you make?
But he's still.
The Jones.
One of us, Brady's coming on.
I would believe it. I'd believe it more if it was beef. Oh my God.
Yes, that's representative. Something we need. Then you guys can make that suggestion. Hi, are you on? Steve Gunn's on. All right, I just sent you, someone just sent you a new app. And they got questions for you. I can come back with this here. Yes. I just sent it to you. You want to come back to me?
Yeah, we'll come back to this.
And you want me to?
Red Hills.
Oh.
Sharon,
Go ahead.
is Steve going on? Because this is her follow-up to the resolution, or the MOU.
Steve, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Wait. Introduce yourself first.
I will, yes. Yvette Running Horse Collin, very good to see you. And I'm the Executive Director and Principal Science Officer for National Sagliapi, Global Institute for Traditional Sciences. And the acronym is GIFTS, and you'll see that in some of the paperwork, so I wanted to explain that to you. I'm an enrolled member, and I'm here with some of our elder board members, my grandfather, Joe American Horse, Barbara Dolknife, Lexi Brindell Yellow Bull. So happy to be here, and how many of you were not here last time? I'm just trying to figure out, do we need to ask for executive session, or are we okay to go forward?
I think we're good.
We're good? Okay. So at the last meeting, you guys wanted to add an MOA to the documentation and have Steve Gunn review. And it's my understanding, Steve, that you did not have a chance to do that. Is that right?
I've received your documents. I was out of the office all last week.
Okay, so I have copies of everything for each of you, so you can see. Lexi Mario Gonzalez reviewed everything, but he's also on our board, right? So we wanted to make sure that, yes, please.
Mario's on your board?
Yes.
And Mario's one of our attorneys?
Yes.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yes. So I wanted to let you know he has reviewed everything, but that is why you guys suggested Steve was going to also review, right? So that there's no, appearance of conflict of interest.
Well, it does appear as a conflict of interest because he's bringing it forward. He's our attorney.
Right. So that's why you wanted Steve Gunn to review. Does that make sense? So he hasn't had
That's clear as mud.
I'm sorry.
I can't find, if Mario's our attorney sitting on your board,
Yes.
coming forward bringing an issue,
Yes.
who is he representing?
So he represents us. And if you would like, I can ask for executive session and you guys can hear or see more images and pictures of the issue.
I don't think we need to look at the issues because we addressed that the last committee. I think what we need to do is we need to wait on our attorneys
So here,
Because you have our attorney on your side.
it's on our side, if you understand and remember the issue.
I
right?
understand
It's very
perfectly.
serious, yeah. So
But
this is
we
what,
have to find where we stand with our attorney against our attorney.
Okay.
You understand that?
I don't look at it that way, but I guess I see what you're saying. So what our request would be today, this is a very time-sensitive issue, very serious issue, would be that you make a motion to support our request, right, that we would be able to lease the Flint Hills property subject to Steve Gunn's review, and hopefully he might be able to do that in the next couple of days, and then we could be on in time for special session on Friday.
That ain't the way it works. We have to have Mr. Gunn review, then it comes back to the committee.
Yes,
Here.
please.
Go ahead, I mean, that's the way I look at it.
And so we got the information that we're supposed to review, and so we are, as the legal department, we're requesting additional time to review that MOU. Because there's a lot of stuff that comes into play with that property up there.
So, if I may, yes, please.
Go ahead.
You know, I think that in the past, I think this council has done that. We all say pending approval. And we do pass things like that on this committee and other committees too. So it's not something that council hasn't done before. You know, I think that we did take action. I know Mr. Coulier wasn't chairing, it was Norman. But at the time, we did give some action to this Running Horse, but also to have our attorney, Mr. Gunn, review that. Now, it sounds like Mr. Gunn was not able to review it in a timely manner. I don't know what's going on there, but we still would like him to review it on the tribal side. If they have an attorney, he also probably reviewed it with, you know, Mr. Gonzalez. You know, so again, there's nothing in the writing that says we can't do that. It always has been that way. I've done it through committees. And I think that today is like, we don't want to stall anything. We've seen what we seen last time around, and that is very concerning to me. That's our land, tribal land over there. We should be looking out for it. And for something like that to be going on, those are very concerning. So I really feel that we need to move forward with this, even if it means that we approve until Steve Gunn can step in and review it and get back with our, get back with our legal office, but to keep in communication with our chair and Mr. Running Horse. So, you know, I think that some of us been here last time, we've seen the presentation in executive, and I think we all have concerns about it. So I really feel like we need to move forward with that, and I'm going to make a motion to approve pending Mr. Gunn reviewing this and communicating with Mr. Puyer and the legal office and Ms. Running Horse. I really feel it is very important, and it is, like I said, a lot of us were in here and we did see there's a big concern with it. So that'd be my motion.
Yeah, second. So let's get it done.
Okay, motion by Sonia, second by Pete. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8.
So we could just keep in contact, Lisa, with Mr. Gunn, get that done with Mr. Gunn and get it so that Davey's also aware of it, and Ms. Running Horse. Keep communication.
Juliana, then Lisa.
Thank you. So understand that, you know, we've done things in the past that way, and I think the issue that we don't want to run into is areas that are sensitive like this, that we say, well, review it and bring it to council when we don't have the option to thoroughly review it to ensure, because we're talking about land, and anytime there's discussion on land and going into an MOU with an outside entity, that's concerning to me. So I want to make sure that we are on our P's and Q's and ensuring that we do this the right way, and that there was some contracts that were brought forth from your board member that, you know, was overlooked, allowing sovereign immunity. We just can't support that. And so that's why I'm asking for us to go through it with a fine-tooth comb to ensure that we are preserving and protecting the lands, but also ensuring that we have the best And I know you're going to do the best in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
In preserving it. But that's why my concern behind it, and that's why I don't support the rushing it, and I don't believe it is stalling. However, it's just, I'm not sure why Mr. Gunn couldn't get to it. I wished he had.
And he wanted to say something. Of course.
You done, Julia?
Yeah, we did.
Lisa, and Craig, and then.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so with the video and everything, and I haven't had a chance to review that, but we wanted to drive up there and look at the property ourselves. So we worked with the horse sanctuary for many, many years, and there's no access up there, only through the horse sanctuary. You have access to the Forest Service on the back side of it, but do we have an agreement with the Forest Service to get through that? Get through there, like an MOU, do we have that in place? Do we have, has anybody checked the records to make sure that the Wild Horse Sanctuary hasn't paid the taxes on it? So that's another issue. And me and Rayanne, we have talked about this on Friday, and we would like to get approval, if you may, to go up there and look at the property.
Yeah.
And then, so we have a 24 to 48 hour notice to the Wild Horse Sanctuary to take us up there. So we would like to get in touch with them right away to take us up there.
Craig, then Sonia.
I guess my biggest problem is we have a woman up there who thinks she owns our land. Can tell us what we can and can't do there. And to me, that's wrong. That's the tribe's land. And that sovereign immunity issue, that could be addressed in just a few minutes.
Exactly.
You know? And we always put things off and make it harder. I think this should be a cut and dried issue pretty quick here. So we can if you guys gotta get up there and look at it. We've been close to that, but we couldn't get in there before. We actually made a trip to Hot Springs and looked. And we were told back then we didn't have access because of landlocked. So, but the reality is they're poisoning prairie dogs and they're leaving that phosphoxin on the ground, which ain't good because it could contaminate that ground for years. They've overgrazed it and the fences are down and about any other thing you can do bad to land is happening there.
That's right.
And pretty soon, if we keep letting them do it, in a year or two, there ain't gonna be nothing there but barren ground. So we really need to expedite this and get up there and get our land back under our control so we can do with it what we want instead of somebody dictating to us. And that's my main concern is that the quicker we get it out from under this woman's control, the better it is for our land.
I do want to say that she is advertising on KLTA, KVN, showing how beautiful it is over there, the sanctuary, running horses, and she's asking for donations. So if you watch KLTA, KVN, you see these commercials that she has, and that's not true. You know darn well it's not true. So let's not act like it's, we're going to run through all these obstacles. It's got to stop. And the staff, the legal office, you guys should have been on top of that too. And now we're here, and it's to the point now where we have to do something. So I'm really thankful that this is going to happen. But I want to yield the floor to one of my district members, Mr. Yellowbull. He has his hands up over here, wants to say something. He is part of the board.
Good morning. Yeah, I just wanted to mention about the property itself. You know, I mentioned earlier, I've been 16 years in the county commissioner.
State your name for the record.
Wendell Yellowbull, a.k.a. Joe Buckinghorse. Lakota name is Mazasu. I'm known out there in the Scubby Trasher world as troublemaker, but that's okay. I just wanted to emphasize that being a commissioner for 16 years out there, and a lot of you understand the dynamics out there already. The property that you're talking about is in Fall River County. You have no jurisdiction here at all. This is the first step that you really need to take a look at, is to start exercising your own ownership, property management, and start taking responsibility for the land that you have out there. If you don't do that and you get caught up in your management and your management organizations that have duties and responsibilities, creating that, prolonging things that have to be done. End result is that, remember, after a while that you guys don't show that you have any interest in it, they will assume the property under the Fall River state statute, and you guys will lose it. So it's really imperative. As far as the nonprofit, remember, you are leasing to a nonprofit organization already. Wouldn't it be better just to have someone representing you from your own people, your own tribe, taking the responsibility, because they're at the soon, they'll be responsible for exercising your authority once we get the MOA agreement for litigation. It's not over. She's not going to give up. She's going to continue to maintain her status. So I think it's really important that we really need to move forward, get your organizations that are responsible, go up there, see for yourself, organize it, fencing needs to be done, and start taking control of that property. I think, and then I know that visiting with in our area here, we have a lot of deeded property here too that has come as getting ready to be seized. My recommendation later on down the road, I'd like to meet with you guys to give see if you guys can buy some of your own property back on the homeland. So I'll leave with that. Any questions for me?
No, I got one for you. We're good.
Okay.
I want to interject something here. I don't know where the documents are. It might be at legal someplace here. But there was a contract. Some ghost bear, I don't know how many years ago it was, to put that fence in it. And it might be in the land office too. I think the funding for the fencing came from the Bureau of Indian Affairs and National Park Service. I know there was some arguments with the National Park Service about being online and all this kind of stuff. But there were some agreements that were signed by the Wild Horse Sanctuary. And I think they were supposed to maintain it.
Yes.
And from what I'm hearing, it wasn't done. But if they look for that contract, there might be some stuff in there that we don't know about. The late Mike Many Horses and myself went to meet with the Fall River County Commissioners to get that land put into trust. But to no avail. They wouldn't do it because they're going to lose it. I think we went 2 or 3 times. But just that. Norman, then Julianne.
Wendell, you said you was on the commissioners for 16 years, and I'm sure this talk about this issue has come forward to you guys over in Hot Springs when you're over at your meetings. And how long has this been a conflict with the commissioner, or Hot Springs people, the land that the Oglala own up there?
You know, one of the things that you have to take a look at is that once in state property, it falls underneath the regulatory policy and state statute. And so really, a lot of them, that if you guys own land out there or any place, it doesn't really fall under purview of giving a concern to the tribe. As long as you don't exercise your authority over it, they feel that it belongs to them. And a lot of it's based on tax basis, you know, and they...
Okay, I understand that, but how long have you been aware that that land up there was being eyeballed by the state?
Not me, because
You're the commissioner, right?
I'm a commissioner for Oglala County.
Yeah, and they have some access to information like that.
Fall River County.
That's where the land is.
That's where it's
Fall
at.
River.
Fall River.
Yeah, so as a commissioner, you were aware of some of these issues that with that land. Correct?
I could bring them up, but I don't have the authority.
No, but you were aware
Yes.
of the issues.
Yeah.
And that goes back a few years, I'm taking it.
It goes back a long time.
Okay, so why didn't you let Sonia know, who sits on council, that we have issues with this land up there?
Because it's the tribe's responsibility, right?
You're a tribal member.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, you could have informed her, and we could have worked on this 10 years ago.
And the other thing about that too is, if you're
Any of these council members.
Any of these council members, and plus
You could have told us and let us
land
know.
committee office, you know, the responsibility. So we all dropped the ball.
Okay.
So I think it's important.
Okay. Julianne, then Craig.
Thank you. I don't believe anyone is in disagreement with the actions that need to be taken. It's just, we need to ensure that are there any open MOUs? Because this may also fall into a form of litigation if we're finding out something that has not been, that has been negotiated and not been followed. And that's the only reason why we have to ensure that we do our checks and balances. And, I do have to agree with Norman, when we wait and then push this body to do it because it's an emergency, and this has been happening for years, I know it's every one of our responsibility to bring it to the table. But, people are sit in roles and positions that can bring the light to situations, and sometimes we don't always do that. So I don't believe we're going to disagree with it, or we are disagreeing with it. I just believe we have to ensure that if there are current or previous MOUs that are not being followed, and the preservation of that land, maybe there needs some litigation that'll be involved with that because of the lack of being taken care of. And so if we already have a motion we already approved this. I don't believe we need a motion because this is 3 weeks ago.
We're just beating it to death. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so my concern is this was passed over 3 weeks ago. Why is it just Friday are they deciding to go up there this week?
Well,
The legal office.
that's because
It's not us.
we all know where it's at. We already took action. We're not, Mr. Dillon talked to him in close discussion on it, because this is just going round and round and round. Mr. Dillon and Sonia. And
No, my issue is, can we have our secretary research? Because some years ago, we assigned a lawyer to find out all the land that was gonna go back, that the state was trying to take, and we were gonna go back and purchase that land so we could keep it in Indian ownership, especially like in Wombly and in these baseline areas, and now up there in the hills. So we really need to do that, and I'll make a motion that we have our secretary research that and bring it back to us so we can get it addressed.
Okay, motion by Craig, second by Sonia and Julianne. All in favor? There.
Yeah.
Okay, Sonia.
Yeah, I gave the floor to my district member, so now that he spoke, I just want to say that, we just need to move on this agenda because we've got a long agenda.
I know.
So I just wanted to say
Okay,
that.
that's it then. Thank you. 7 generations.
She's on now.
Huh?
She's on.
Oh, go ahead. What's her name?
Emma.
Chair,
Go ahead.
can I make a motion to turn on the AC?
Yeah. go ahead.
Emma, you're on? Emma, the floor is yours.
Okay, are folks able to see my screen if I were to share?
Go ahead with your,
Yeah, can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, are you able to see my screen if I were to share, or should I just kind of share verbally?
We can't see you, but.
Okay.
Share it, yes, there you go.
Okay. Alright, turn the screen really quick. Okay, can you see and hear everything?
We got you.
Okay. Okay, I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your meeting today. I'm here to present a research proposal that I'm hoping to get permission from the tribe to get permitting to collect samples for. And I have a lot of really important things to do today, so I'll try to get through this pretty quickly. Just a little bit about myself, for those of you who have not met me. My name is Emma Raholski. I grew up in upstate New York and spent a lot of my adult life in Oregon, where I really fell in love with these rocky, dissected landscapes, badlands. I got my undergrad degree in geology at Portland State, and I'm now at Stanford working with Dr. Jane Willenbring in the Life and Landscapes Lab, and we are all interested in a wide array of topics that are related to how life influences landscapes and vice versa. Including Kayla, who's a member of the Europe tribe. She studies dam removal. We have folks that look at wildfires and worms and how they influence soil health. So a wide array of expertise and interests. Myself, I am interested in badlands because they are a unique example of a landscape that cannot host vegetation. I know badlands, or makoshka, as the Lakota referred to them, they potentially hold a lot of useful information about what is necessary to have life on hill slopes. For example, water or nutrients and erosion, and all of these factors that influence vegetation on slopes are influenced by things like climate and land use. And so understanding what is the reason why we don't have vegetation in these landscapes could potentially help us understand how changes in something like climate, like more rain, or how we use this land might influence the ability for this landscape to host life. So I want to just touch a little bit about why this research might be important to the tribe. The first is water quality. So erosion releases sediments into streams. It also releases other things into streams like agricultural runoff or toxins like lead pollution from World War II bomb testing. And this is an image of the confluence of the White River that drains the Badlands and the Missouri River. And you can see that where the White River intersects the Missouri River, the color changes dramatically. And that is because this landscape erodes very quickly and releases a lot of material into the water. And so understanding the rate that happens is important for understanding water quality. Additionally, just erosion in general is a hazard. So a few years ago, a landslide took out a road, closest scenic road in a national park boundary, and erosion can happen both very catastrophically as a landslide or slowly and gradually. But either way, whether it's a landslide that creates a physical hazard or slow erosion that's encroaching on land that is potentially important for the tribe. For example, this is Cooney Table, and there are some agricultural lands here. This, you can also see a target from World War II bomb testing, and this indicates that there could be potentially like unexploded ordinances that could be released through erosion. I also know that some of these tablelands are culturally significant areas, so as this erodes, it is removing that land as well. The third reason is just vegetation. I was surprised to learn that National Park is one of the most biologically diverse vegetated prairies, and the distribution of vegetation is very scattered throughout the park, and there's not a lot of clarity on why that is and what's controlling that. So we don't know if, for example, if we get more rain in the future, if that will produce more vegetation everywhere, or if the rain will create more erosion that will then strip the vegetation from the slopes. I know when I met with the environmental technical meeting, some folks were interested in understanding if this land can be revegetated and become more useful to the tribe. And currently we don't know, but I think some of the things that we want to look at might help understand that a little bit better. So as I mentioned, erosion is one of the potentially important factors in explaining why badlands are devoid of vegetation. Badlands in general are characterized by very rapid erosion, but despite this, we have a pretty poor idea of the rates that these landscapes erode and also how they evolve over time. And so that's the kind of main uncertainty that I'm here to present for my project to address, is looking at erosion rates and badland evolution through time. So this is a image of Cooney Table, the same area that I had shown before, but in kind of 3D. And as you can see here, there are these ridge extending outward from the stable. This is in the southwest portion of the national park and in the northwest portion of the reservation. And I am proposing tracking erosion along one of these ridges and in mapping that through time. As you can see, there's this flat plateau that these ridges extend out from, and this kind of reflects the history of badlands and how they form here. So we start with this cap rock that is forming the plateau, and as that gradually erodes, it leaves behind it this long ridge segment that in some way records also time. So as we get farther from the cap rock, we're also experiencing a landscape that is badland for longer. So using this, we can construct what we call it in the geosciences as a space for time substitution or chronosequence, where instead of looking back in time physically, we can use distance and space as a proxy for time. And this will let us construct the kind of history of badlands in this area. And so the project that I'm proposing is to collect samples along this ridge and also within the river and near the cap rock to derive erosion rates to get a rate of ridge lowering, a rate of basin-wide erosion, and also of the cap rock, and also collecting some erosion rates from streams within the park. And then pairing that with high resolution drone imagery. And that will involve the collection of roughly 5 kilogram soil samples, and then also collecting some drone sites. So I want to touch really briefly on these erosion rates and why this is, how we're getting at and why this is kind of important. In the past, for badlands, the only ways we've been able to measure erosion have been using these things like erosion pins, which are stakes in the ground that you measure their height and how it changes over time, or sediment loads in streams. However, as you might imagine, for both of these methods, they are not very good at averaging over space and time and can be very sensitive to individual events. In the geosciences, we use this method called cosmogenic radionuclides, often to measure erosion. You can think of these as like a suntan that's developed in the rock as it's exposed near the surface, except for instead of sun, it's developing this tan from cosmic rays. And this method has been really useful in the geosciences for measuring erosion rates averaged over space and time, but has not been able to be used for badland materials because they're so fine-grained that you have to do a bunch of chemistry to actually measure this, and you'll just destroy all the fine-grained material. But last year, a paper was published that created a new method that will allow us to use this. So it's a very exciting time for me, working in a lab that uses this method a lot, and interested in badlands. And so it's a very exciting time that will allow us to get, averaged erosion rates over thousands of years. So from this project, we expect to get these first ever badland erosion rates averaged over space and time, and be able to construct this temporal evolution of slopes. People have observed that it looks like, from what we see in the landscape, that they do evolve and become kind of more broad, and potentially we might see changes in their hydrology or chemistry over time, but it hasn't been mapped to time, so this project will allow us to map it into time. And then also, because we can look at time and changes over time, we can also start to understand what controls the rates of erosion in these badlands and how that might change with different forcings. This is only one of 3 projects that I'm going to be working on for my dissertation, but I'm not ready to propose sampling for the other 2, but in the future I want to kind of take this and my experience in this landscape to understand more so the distribution of vegetation, and then also how subsurface water flow might impact vegetation and erosion. So I'm here to ask for your permission to collect samples within the tribal land. And I'm also just curious, if I am given permission to collect samples on your land, I want this work to also serve the tribe. So I want to know from all of you what you want to know about erosion and water and vegetation in this landscape, and how I might be able to tailor this project to produce information that's useful for the tribe And then also just understanding your all's relationship to Badlands. I know that the word Makushka means directly translates to Badlands. And somebody at the environmental tech meeting shared that, the Lakota, while you moved around, were relocated from the Black Hills to this pretty difficult landscape. And so, yeah, I would love to learn more about your relationship, and then also my kind of commitments to the tribe, if I'm given permission to continue work in this area, is that I'm committed to communicating openly and regularly, providing access to any data that I collect, and then also, making an ongoing effort to kind of share the knowledge that I have. I believe that there's knowledge that all of you have with this landscape just because of your history here that I would never be able to develop on my own, but I would love to, learn from all of you, but also share the expertise that I've developed in my education as well. So, anybody who wants to share anything or have any questions, feel free to.
Okay, got one hand up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Julianne.
Thank you. I first want to say thank you for the presentation. I requested for us to hear what your the reasoning behind this, and you answered that with the dissertation. So if we approve this, just give us a nod in your graduation speech. Just kidding.
Oh.
Just kidding. But I did have a question, and as far as where would the testing be archived? Who will it be archived with?
Yeah, so the samples that I collect are mostly destroyed when we analyze them. We have to take the soil and basically remove a bunch of the material with chemicals. Anything that's left over will be archived at Stanford, but I think that those should be available to you as well, and I believe we could also negotiate archiving them with you if you have an interest in that. I don't think they have to be at Stanford. But that's where I'll be processing the samples and everything.
Okay, and will the testing include minerals?
Yeah, so for the erosion rates, we remove everything to get quartz, but we can do some bulk geochemistry if you're interested. We have the facilities for that to get the mineral abundances, and we probably would do that before anyways. So, yeah.
And the reason why I ask for that is because we know on a larger scale, the government looks at tribal lands as an opportunity for their national defense in surface mining or looking at ours. And that's why it's, when anyone wanting to test our lands, what is the reason or where does that information go? My other concern, or my other question is, can this testing be used as a feasibility study for future agricultural development?
Yeah, it's possible that that's not the main goal. The geochemistry that we'll be doing might be useful for understanding if it could be developed for agriculture. Because this is within the national park boundary and in this really steep kind of slopey land, I don't know how viable it would be to develop for agriculture, but there's already, to answer your original question too about understanding the minerals, there's already existing geochemical data on what these are composed of, and it's my belief that because the data is already out there, that this landscape isn't useful for mining and wouldn't drawing attention to that. But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question fully, but I don't think that it would be it might help you understand agricultural feasibility or what you could potentially do to reclaim some of those degraded slopes.
Okay, and then my last question is to Mr. Swallow. You were in the meeting with us when we met with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and one of the discussions we had were, the impacts of having tourism or anyone in those areas without supervision because of what's in the lands there. So my only concern, and you already answered that, is that, you will be present at all times and no one will be left alone to walk those grounds.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's all I have, thank you.
Thank you.
I would motion to support it, as long as she works directly with Sean and maybe our EPP as well.
Yes.
And this will be in 505, 506, or both, or plumb across the bottom end?
Oh, it'll be in 506, right there.
Okay. So you will be in contact with Thunder Valley since?
Oh, yeah, well, I'll let them know, because they can't tell me I can and can't go there.
Yeah, Dave,
Yes.
can we put in that motion that she has to sign a waiver
Yes.
that we are not responsible for anything that happens
And I have that.
out there in the Badlands? And any films that she takes of Bigfoot or anything, retain the property of the tribe.
He is out there.
All right. Motion made, who's second? Norman, all in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emma.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. I look forward to working with you.
Speaking of Bigfoot.
Seven generations.
Not cool, isn't it?
My name is Bob Tilley. I'm here for 7 years for 7 generations. You'll find in your packet a contract with AMDA to produce easements for my water projects. This is what we've always used, AMDA, and since from way back. So he's done a real good job for us on these easements. And all I'm asking for is approval through committee to go to council and have it approved.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Julian, second by Sonia, all in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you, committee.
That's it?
Okay, the next one I have, I passed it out. It's from the acting area director Raymond Hart on the grazing rates. It says the deadline was August 7th. Do you explain it, Mr. Hatton?
Good morning, Sean Brown.
There you go.
Good morning, I'm Sean Brown with BI Land Ops. This is bring this the new allotted grazing rate to you guys. They wanted the input by August 7th. Hoping to get approval or whatever soon, so I could, if you get to the changes, I could start putting them in the system to allow me to get the communities invoiced on time.
So, I guess, so what's the rate gonna be? It says between 21.05 per animal unit and the present rate is 21.13. So are they saying that they're gonna move it back to this?
No.
Or what are they doing?
2105, which is the present rate, and increase it by the 8 cents to 2113 on allotted grounds.
So it reads at 8 cent rate. Go ahead, Sonia.
Yeah, I was just reading that too. I'm going to make a motion to approve. It does have, 38 cent increase?
Percent.
Increase, so it's going to be 21.13.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, that's
motion
just
to
for
approve and forward to council.
Okay. We'll have to, the question is, if we want ours to remain the same as tribal, because they're already gonna act on, the BI is gonna act on the allotted.
Yes.
So we're just taking action on the tribal, just so that everybody knows.
Yeah, that'll be my motion.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm looking at this, this is only an 8 cent increase.
Yes.
8 cent. The 38%, don't let it throw you off, it's only 8 cents more.
Right.
Yep.
That's what we just said over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only for a lot of part.
They're gonna take the action, so we gotta decide if we're gonna go with the tribal land at that rate. So we're gonna move the tribal land from 2105 to 2113. That's, because they're already gonna move the allotted land. That's their
Yes.
responsibility.
Yes.
See,
So.
okay? So your motion is to go with the 2113 for tribal ground. 2113 per AUM, put it that way. Is there a second? Norman? B and B, all in favor?
I'm not.
Or no, not voting, I'm not voting.
Okay, do a roll call vote then. Roll call vote.
More than what we get now.
Tyler
At least a
Lunderman?
little bit more.
Not voting, no work.
Julian Spotted Bear?
No.
Craig Dillon? Sonia Little Hawk Weston? David Kelly?
No.
Troy Little? Bo Little Whiteman? Jeremy Rosales?
Yes.
Norman Sunning Soldier?
Yes.
B. Frando?
Yes. Yes.
4 for, 2 no, 4 not voting.
Craig, do you want to vote on that rate change?
Yes, I'll vote yes.
Okay, okay. We got one question for Sean and the suit then. Does this have to be a council resolution or can it go to executive committee? Do you want a resolution or just committee action?
A resolution.
So can it go to XB or is that? Because Sean has to start loading it, he said. And the council won't meet until the end of the month.
It's not.
Okay, we'll put it on for the end of the month. We'll need a resolution for that. Steve, did you email it to you, Steve? Did you get it?
I have the letter, yes, thank you.
Okay, we'll need a resolution to that effect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Yellowbird Road. This Sean wants to sing a song.
I don't know. Amazing Grace.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Once again, you know, we've talked about this over and over, and we've had Maurice and his daughter come in and have some issues with Mr. Coombs again. And apparently, the issue is still in play, but now it's getting worse and worse. The old Yellowbird Road where Richard Yellowbird used to live, going down into the table. Well, Mrs. Twissenham and a few others have units back down at the bottom. And the road that they get to access has been destroyed by Mr. Coombs. So the people that have them units down on the bottom cannot get access to it. And she asked if I bring it forward, and I asked her to be here today. She's separating horses. Apparently a stud got in with, one of Shane's studs got in with her horses, and she's trying to cut him out. And so once again, the issue's back before us. And I just wanted to bring it to the committee's attention that, you know, something needs to be done, because these guys are paying a substantial amount on some of the units that they're getting, and if they can't access them, then it becomes a loss for us. So.
Do you know if that's a lot of the tribal land that's going down with that road is on?
Where that house used to be sitting, that was on tribal ground. And it'd be you know, if these guys could pull it up on the map right now, we'd be able to find out for sure.
We would have to go to the office to look, because we don't have our stuff on the computer.
Okay. I wonder if there's any allotted land involved in that, on that road.
You know, we're talking probably a quarter mile to a half mile off the highway. I really wouldn't know. I know the area,
Yeah.
but I don't know all the owners up there on top, so.
You know, this has been going on for so long with this guy that I mean, we take resolutions to council to banish our own people. This guy's been around here, banished, and still lives here. It's getting ridiculous of how this is going on. Maybe we can have BIA and tribal land go out there and get all that, because if it's on a lot that they got the responsibility of the tribal, it's a headache, put it that way. Anything else with them, Mr. Kemp?
No, I told her I'd carry it forward, and we do need to address it at some point, and, you know, I thought it'd be good to bring to committee here. I just hate to see them people up there, you know, they're mainly all cattle ranchers in the area.
Yeah.
And they're not getting access and whatnot because of an individual, and it creates a headache for the tribe overall, and we'll hear it. So, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Julia.
Can this be addressed in law and order as well? Because I remember 5 years ago, he was banished.
He was banished in 1998.
And then again, during the last time I was on.
98?
Yeah, it was 98 or 99 when they did that.
5 years ago, we banished.
He's still here. Yeah, they can bring it along. Parks and Rec, who brought that on?
You know, I was asked to put that on the agenda this morning to address the White Clay Dam. And I do have one of the district members here that would like to address the land committee on that issue. And I think we just need to find out who is responsible for that, the White Clay Dam area. And I think BIA is in the room still, Superintendent?
Yeah,
and so I think we just need to figure out, because I do know the dams were placed back under the BIA. So we need to find out who's in charge of that and responsible for keeping those dams clean. And that's what Mr. Rodriguez would like to address the land committee on.
I thought he was requesting trash bags to clean it up.
That too. So I'd like to yield the floor to your
Mr. Go ahead.
Am I up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon, my name is Felix Rodriguez, BIA Safety of Dams. So, I do the O&M on the reservoirs throughout the reservation, except for Oglala, right now it's in construction. And I've been seeing an excess amount of trash in the parks, in the park areas at these dams. And I do take pictures of them. I send them to some of you guys, so you guys get them. If it's in your district, I will send them to you. I know Mr. Cross, we addressed one down in Yellow Bear in Allen Dam a couple weeks back. But out to White Clay Dam, it's starting to, and we have a trash dump site right across the road. But they want to keep dumping in a park area down there. So safety of dams, responsibility for anything that's inside the dam, around the dam area. Parks and Rec, I believe, are responsible for the parks. I mean, you might have to look at their scope of work and see what the truth is to that. And, you know, if they are getting funding for it, then, you know, that's where they need to start picking it up, cleaning it up, whatnot. So, but I do have a lot of pictures of those dam sites. So I thought I'd bring it to you guys' attention because it seems to kind of fall off to the wayside sometimes. So.
any questions, and I'm right here.
Is that not really being, does anybody know who took over director of Parks and Rec?
No, I thought it was being, going to be advertised by the Parks and Rec Board. And I do know that Mr. Redwell said it was going out for advertisement. It had qualifications on that job description. So I don't know if, who's in there temporary as the director? Who?
Acting's Nick Smallwood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Nick Smallwood. So maybe we need to forward this to Nick
Yeah,
and see if he could look into it. A motion to do that.
okay.
But to get in touch with the BIA, maybe Mr. Rodriguez, and he can let him know
Yeah.
what he's finding out at this dam.
That's your
But-
motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Motion made and seconded by Ty. All in favor? Unanimous.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Got you off the hook from the trash bags. Next, Mr. Dylan Mike Keegan.
That has to do with the land that was taken in the Tutno area, the Lake Creek Refuge. That was all Indian owned, it was condemned, and somehow the state weaseled their way in there and they get all the fees, the licensing fees. And that's federal land, yet the state gets the money. Why don't the tribe try to get that money? That's fishing license, deer hunting, goose hunting, duck hunting, pheasant hunting, grouse hunting. You know, if it's our land, it was our land and they condemned it to take it, then it should still be our land. So I thought we was gonna have Steve Gunn look into this. If not, I'll make a motion that we have Steve research that and come back to us.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Refer to Mr. Gunn.
And that's all the Lake Creek left refuge land out there that was Indian, prior owned by Native Americans, tribal members.
Heard action, referred. Solid waste. I think they're standing out here. Are we out here?
Yeah, I called him.
Okay.
I told him maybe.
Let's go to, where'd she go? CKP check. Where are we supposed to use it? Who has the information on it? Where that's supposed to go? Go ahead, Shalane.
So remember, Dave and the president took a picture with the CKP
Yeah.
on that $400,000 check, but that should have been our insurance or what was owed or paid to the tribe from that drought, and he said there was a check coming in. But did we ever designate or identify where the funding would be utilized towards?
All I know, it was supposed to come in, I think one of the finance meetings, we said that it's supposed to put in, open an account to put that in whenever that check came. I didn't ever know when it was coming.
Supposed to go to agriculture only?
Yes, Mike?
He said it was supposed to go to agriculture only, that Mr. Nick Field told us that anyway.
Right. Mr. Dillon?
I think before it goes anyplace, we need to identify where it's supposed to go.
Right.
Because we put it in the general fund and it disappears, we may never get any anymore.
Right.
So my motion will be that we get a hold of Mr. Birchfield, have the treasurer get a hold of him so we can make sure we earmark it for, and put it in the right account.
Right.
It's supposed to go for agriculture and that's where it needs to go. That's my motion.
Motion.
Can you, I'll second it, can you make sure that account is restricted, because what we found out through finances if we don't restrict those funds, then they're easily accessible.
Restricted account.
Motion made second, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Solid waste come back?
Read the amount, you need the amount,
Huh?
One comment.
the amount on the check.
Yeah, that's per month.
Yeah, the CKP check, I don't know if it's gonna be the same every month, but quick.
One little comment is, this is also, needs to be run, it's EBD that was taking the lead on that as far as what the plan was for it. I don't think land was part of it.
Because we started meeting with the.
We talked about it, it was, Cubby's proposal through EBD that he wanted to utilize that.
I can't use it, it has to be for agriculture.
Yeah, Chair, yep, so, it can't be,
Wait.
I recommend it's not used, but go ahead, Jared.
No, that was just what we had discussion on at EBD, and that was where we were gonna discuss what it was gonna be used for.
Use your mic, it's not on, we can't hear you.
Shut up. But yeah, no, the discussion started in EBD, what we were gonna do with it.
It has to be. The meeting that we started.
Joint meeting with land.
When we started this, we met up to Prairie Ranch. And that guy gentleman came, we went, I think a whole day session, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them, you might consider. All right.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Chair. So yeah, so just due to the drought, then,
Yeah.
you know, this is what triggered for the tribe. And so, you know, if we don't trigger a drought again, then, you know, there's different, you know, outcomes for it. But, you know, I think the goal is that, you know, if we triggered this amount here, then it needs to be set aside and we're not to spend it, because we need to restrict it and have it set aside there for it. But I think we're on the right path of getting, CKP to come in and our treasurer to iron that out. So.
All right, thank you. Good, Sonny.
You know, I put this on the agenda because I want to get some clarification on it. Maybe you guys talked about it, but I think we want to see, I know that when he came, he did tell us that it could be used specifically for certain things, but he also said certain tribes were using their money to upgrade their, for example, rodeo grounds and powwow grounds and different things like that. And he said that is totally up to the tribe to do that. So I think that we need to probably go back and look and see specifically what we can use this money for. I think some of us have been discussing that, and I think we need to get more clarification from what's his name now, the guy that, Nick. Yeah, Nick, if we can get in touch with him. I don't know what kind of motion you made or what, but we
It's
should.
just to put it in a restricted account for now.
For now, okay, so maybe that can be done, but I don't know if the treasurer's in. Maybe by Thursday, we should find out exactly what it was meant to be used for. But I do know when he came, he did say certain things could be used, but we also, some of it does go back to the tribe too. So I think we should do that, but I'm okay with that, you know, for now, but we should get more clarification on it.
Right, because he did want to meet with the council, so we'll have to set up the date when he can come and whatever, it might be in the area.
Okay.
So that, for now, we'll put it in that restricted account. That it, for that? Quick plan.
Okay. So, did you make a
Go ahead,
motion for it?
Yeah, so it's.
We already did.
Yeah, we already passed, yeah. But, so, committee, so this was the item that came to council, and, you know, we wanted to refer back to land committee, so, Mr. O'Brien here, our district chairman's, he been in communication with land, I believe, on those areas, so I'll turn it over to Mr. Todd O'Brien.
Good afternoon. My name's Todd O'Brien, Franklin District Chair. We've been working on some development in Porcupine, trying to beautify it, making a nicer place. We were working on trying to do something with the beavers and the dams, and we want to put a park in. And it's not only just for Porcupine District, but it goes with the powwow now, and we have a bridge built across the creek, but also it's going to be able to be used by the community, by this Porcupine School and OL School, so it's going to benefit everybody involved. So we want to start with it across the road there and across the creek from the powwow grounds next to the Porcupine School, and we want to build a park, and we're working with a non-profit that's going to help fund that park. We want to put in basketball courts, volleyball nets, playground, a walking track, and then expand on from there. That's what we're going to start out with. And so we want to lay this land aside for that area, for the park. And also the land between the new CAF office and old CAF office, lay it aside for future development. Like they want to put, Carroll's going to put a training center in somewhere. So we're working with them to try to put a training center in Porcupine. So we need to tie this land up so it ain't being taken for other things besides economic development and park to beautificate Porcupine district and Porcupine community. Any questions?
Go ahead, Norm.
Do you have a blueprint of everything that you're putting up? We don't have a blueprint of everything put up, but we just gotta secure the plans, and then they're gonna draw up the blueprint. We can bring it back to you and look at it.
So when you get the land guaranteed to be put in aside for Porcupine District, you'll come back to some plans and...
We sure can show you all the plans that we're gonna do.
And I noticed that you have 3 homes for, what are you gonna rent them?
They'll be rented out, and I think one of them is talking about saving for the clinic when they get it opened up, so you open that thing, so you use doctors and dialysis.
And you'll set your own rate of the rent?
Yes, we will, and go to the district.
How would you base your rent on the home? Would it be based on income or?
No.
It would just be a flat rate?
And a flat rate, and then we'll have to have insurance and all that stuff on those homes.
Okay, just wondering. Okay, thank you.
Kai.
Thank you, Chair. So, Norm, this is just the beginning stage, you know, trying to get the land and stuff in place. And then, so if you guys remember in the past, Sonia, I requested that, you know, each district, you know, come up with an economic development plan. And we said, you know, our district would. And this is the plan that we've kind of been working on. And so it's here today. And so I guess this is all we're trying to do is just continue to move it forward for economic development.
Sonia.
You know, I just want to say that our district, Wakpambi, has been doing that. And I think that Mr. O'Brien has been talking to our chair of our district. And I think that our district currently does have homes, trailers in each of our communities. And people are living there. And they're utilizing them to just watch over them, but they also are paying rent. They're paying for the utility cost. But a lot of that goes back into the district. And so I think that, you know, I think this is a good idea. I just want to make sure that they follow the process of bringing it through land committee first. And I think that's why I think it got denied last time. So I think that we just need to make sure that we're doing that, because I know our district did that, come through the land and, you know, taking it through that process. So I do agree with economic development, and I do think that our districts need to start looking at that and trying to sustain themselves. And I think it does help out. We just got to set aside land for that purpose. And I think our district does the same thing, so that way we can reserve that land just for houses or something for the district. So I'm agreeable with economic development. I think we need to support that plan. Thank you.
Julianne, then Vic and Ty.
Thank you. I think this weekend, Sonia was there, a few of us, Dave was there. We had a good conversation regarding the districts getting into economic business and development And and their purpose, because what they're a lot of leaning on is to try to do that for them, when in actuality, the district should be taking the lead in that. And so I think this is a good move. I know I supported that during the council because it should have went through the process of land and ensuring that that's all taken care of, because the other ordinances will cover you in that aspect. So I don't know, did a motion already be made or? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Beef, then Ty.
Just a verbalization of, districts do need autonomy to do things, and we look at economic development, but if you're honest and you really look at the history of it, the tribe gets screwed out of land, money, everything in the long run, in the real process. The loser is the tribe. Even though if you do right with good intentions and good thoughts, and it's going to benefit each district, and you have the empowerment zone, you have CDCs, you have all these other things. You got all these churches that are talking on our behalf that they're going to do these good things for our people, get all this land. It's so historical. It's from since Indians and whites started getting together, since Fort Laramie. It's that long historical process. And I guess there's never going to be a right answer for that, and people are going to benefit, but the tribe as a landholder and as a final entity, they end up losing. It's historical. We're going to lose, but it's for economic development. It's got a good banner. It's got a good thought, and but this continues this way, we're still going to all lose our land in a big run, and we lost a lot of our land, to be honest. So I encourage this thought, and it's nothing new. So it's just my 2 cents in the thing. I won't stand in front of it and stop it. It's going to be that way. Thanks.
Ty.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it's the intent is, for economic development, and the district is, part of the tribe, and their tribal members, in the community. But one of the most important things that I think that are really looking at is the revenue part for the district. I think the district, we're not really getting anything in. So right now we're just trying to get this in place so that way we can take that part of it into our own hands for development. So, but with that, Chair, I'll make a motion to approve and forward on to council. Yeah, that'll be my motion.
Motion by Ty, second by Greg.
So what was your?
Does it need to go to council or no?
I don't know, that's how much. I think it should have a council resolution. That way.
Yeah, so that's a motion to approve it and send on to council, regular session.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed?
So what was your motion? Approving what? The resolution, this one.
The council
Okay, I don't have copies of anything. The resolution? Okay.
Don, can you read that heading at least?
Approved.
Resolution of the Park Point District requesting authorization and approval of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Land Committee, the Oglala Sioux Tribe Council, and the Oglala Sioux Tribe Executive Committee to ratify and implement the use of tribal lands, and then it has the sections. For district development of a park in Porcupine District and economic development with the placement of 3 homes to generate revenue for our district.
Just add something to that, since they already voted on it, but there's old resolutions that are out here by the old ambulance building, that was supposed to be set aside for economic development. And even though there was supposed to have been a new tribal office built out there, but when it came time for this time of the year, election time, all that went out the window, and now you've got all them generals sitting in there, and there's no room for economic development. So we have to be careful when we vote on some of these things, because those promises are made, And look what happened out there. There's no room for economic development out there.
Sure.
Solid waste, what's up?
With that being said, I know in this new changes, do we need to initiate the process to start the boundary lines because the secretarial election called for boundary lines of districts?
I'm gonna tell you, there's already ordinances after ordinance after ordinance to create them boundary lines. So the question is, can I run for council of Pine Ridge Village? The Supreme Court already ruled there's no such thing as boundary lines. So we have to, there's ordinances that, get the mic on.
It's not on. What is it?
Sit down. But the thing is, that there's no boundary lines, and the ordinances say that the districts are supposed to get together and iron them out. It's not up to the council to that, it's up to the districts to define them boundary lines. So that constitutional amendment, you might say that, but you're still gonna have to take it back to your district for their adoption of the boundary line. The biggest problem is you, Sonia, and you are gonna have to get together because that was the holdup on the boundary line.
We're gonna like it.
Oglala too.
And Oglala, because they argue over community lines. There's also a letter from the Secretary of Interior saying Red Shirt Table is a district.
Yeah. There's documentation on it.
Yeah, so I don't know where, yes.
I just want to say that on the issue of the boundary lines, I think that it's always going to be a big concern when it comes to that. And I think we know that because when it comes to Pine Ridge Village and Wakpambi, we're going to always know, historically where our boundary lines are based on our elderly people that have been here a long time. And so we know where that will go. And so again, the boundary lines, the Constitution already, specified that we do need to set our own boundary lines. But also Supreme Court ruled in a case where we had a council rep from Pine Ridge that took out her petition and got signatures, and some were not from Pine Ridge Village, but they were from other districts. And the election office said, no, they're not from your district. Well, it went to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, because you have no boundary lines, anybody can sign that petition. So, with our eyes wide open now, we better start thinking about that because, like Councilman Puyer said, I could run in Pine Ridge Village. Or I could run in that district because we don't have no boundary lines according to that constitutional amendment. So I will bring that up because that council rep, appealed it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled in her favor. So she got to run. They had to let her run. Yeah.
So I'll be running for Wakpambi next time.
Okay, with solid waste and territory, they're the last one. I thought seen them come in, They pulled the disappearing act on me. Solid waste. Solid waste. Oh.
That was me. So I asked for solid waste to give us an update because in Pine Ridge District, as you know, we are running out of home site leasing spaces. And so, but we do have a lot of abandoned trailers that are in areas that can be utilized for home site leasing. Is there an update as far as what we can do with those trailers that are littered throughout the district that seem to be abandoned?
Well, first of all,
Deanne
Hermany versus OST Solid Waste. So first of all, it was supposed to be 10 per district, and we've gone beyond that for Pine Ridge District. We've done over 20 of them for Pine Ridge District. And it seems like we clear a lot out, and then there's a fire over here and a fire over here. So even across the street from my house at Sobriety, they're just destroying that little trailer, so same thing, yep. And right now, we're actually on a halt until they did the extension. So here is our fearless leader, Tyler, to talk about the grant.
I don't know about fearless, but Tyler Yellowboy, they asked me to come in and kind of give an update where the grant is with the trailer removal part. We, as of last week, I submitted the required documents that funding agency asked of from the tribe, updated budget, updated timeline, and public notice notification that we were extending the grant. So I did that. I had to wait for it upstairs. The needed signatures were gone. There were Sundance or whatever was going on last week. So we didn't get to get those in the week that we got that information in. So right now their project and all the projects, the water installation, all of those projects as instructed by the chief of staff are halted until we figure out if we're getting the extension or not. We've done our part, I've done our part on filing that extension. The information went in, it's up to the 425 conversation that has to happen. And so it's in their ball field now, FAO, treasurer, all that stuff. So right now, their trailer removal project, the water installation, everything has been put on hold until we know if we're getting that extension or not.
Is there a time frame to that?
So just last week, I emailed Polly Serrano. She's the awarding officer in Denver. So it usually takes her about 2 weeks to get back with a yes or no on the extension, but also the 425s is part of that conversation. So I don't know if the 425s, because of them being late, and that's making them, they only completed, I believe, 32 projects out of the 90. And so we're working on that part. I've done the program grant part. We're just waiting for the 425s. I don't know if they were sent or not. We did get an email back, and I was going to confirm with Stephanie on when he's available to have that conversation with the funding agency. So we're moving in that direction, but as far as our part on the Oyate Wichozani grant part with the trailer removals, we kind of stopped everything until we figure out, because we don't want to go keep spending and then find out we didn't get the extension, and then the tribe end up paying back that amount of money. So right now, the current contracts for the bathrooms are being completed. I have one contractor left that's completing those bathrooms. And then we'll figure out if we're getting the extension or not. But again, that conversation happens when we have the meeting with the funding agency. They did email us and give us dates, so we're just going to work with the president's schedule to see when he's available to have that conversation with the funding agency. So I've been talking with Steph.
Okay, and thank you for that. Can solid waste put notices out on those trailer homes that you have a time to have it removed, or if anybody who goes and says, well, this is my trailer house, I just placed it there. Is there anything that can be posted, or maybe land posted that something, because behind my house there's 3 trailers. I don't know if anyone lives in them, but I don't see anybody inside. I know that we had a whole group of houseless relatives walking down the hill, but if there's one that's sideways, one's this, it's just kind of, there's no order to it. I don't know.
Is it just the frames, or is it?
They're the full trailer houses. But it looked like they moved it in to work on it and just, it sits there. But then we have 2 others that are just sitting there as well.
So, do you know who owns, my name is Audrey Thompson, admin assistant for OSD Solid Waste. Do you know who owns those homes? Because we don't want to get into litigations like we did with Mr. Champagne's ordeal down at the trailer court.
Right. Somebody pulled one into the powwow grounds, and public safety called us in Brownsfield, so we took it. The minute we got it to the office, it just fell apart. So that was right before the powwow.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if land would be able to identify that and post that notice?
Yeah, we could do it if their home site lease is expired. But if it's not expired, then we probably can't really do anything till it does, if they don't renew it.
Okay, because I see the propane tanks there. I don't know if water's there, but it would be accessible for someone who wants to place a home.
Yeah, we could take a look at it.
Okay.
And then we started next on Lake Creek District, and then our grapple sensor went out. So we have 2 grapples. One goes around and does the regular business of clearing the transfer sites. And that's the one that went down. So we're just waiting for our mechanic right now to come to work and to finish that. So we can finish Lake Creek, but then in the meantime, we're halted, so. Other than that,
No. Stay right there.
I'm up. Are you done?
Yeah, thank you.
we're done.
Thank you. Dave had a question.
You know, I guess my question would relate back to, it seems like every other meeting that solid waste shows up, where's your boss? How come he never comes to any of the meetings to answer these questions? I know you guys have all the answers, but you shouldn't be here answering the questions that we have. It should be,
Per
Mr.
policy,
Barron.
I can't cause dissension.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm just putting it out there. The other thing is, you know, I think Ms. Sears requested at some point, and this is not related to you folks, it might work in your favor, but at finance, they asked me to look for a toter, a mobile home mover, and I've looked and I found a few, but you know, I think it'd be relevant if we had motor fuels program to go out there and help assist remove some of these, you know, eyesores that we have within the village and everywhere else, because that's what it's going to take. You know, I didn't like the fact that they spent $100,000 on the rodeo, and I still don't agree with that today. If they can spend that $100,000 on rodeo, they can spend $100,000 buying a damn truck to help clean these sites up. So I just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
You have a response for that?
Then with that too, there's liability issues with insurance because we were removing trailers that were intact. So we pull them and then one day unnatural causes happened and we ended up with a hole in the trailer, so we couldn't pay for it. So we had to go through property supply, have the insurance pay for it. It took almost 6 months to a year for us to repair that. But that's why we stopped doing it. And then with this grant, we picked it back up, but there's no liability issues with the abandoned trailers, so that's why we took it. Other than that, we could. I'm not sure if our insurance lets us with this new insurance agency, so hopefully.
I've got a question for you. How do you identify which trailers to move and who do you get permission from to move them?
Usually the landowner or whoever's on the lease calls us and will tell us when they're trying to set up a home ownership or whatever they're trying to do. They'll call us to remove the old stuff, and then we charge them $350, and then we do everything. We remove the trailer, we do all the dirt work, we make it presentable.
So do you also work with the land office to find out which units are expired? And
They usually bring us their paperwork that have already went through the system, the process everywhere. And we don't do it unless the paperwork's all signed off on by the district, by land, by BIA, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming down at short notice. And maybe I'll add it on there, if we can get some updates. I don't know how that'll work, because the issue with Pine Ridge District is I'm telling everyone, go enroll in our census, go update your census, but then there's nowhere to live, so we have folks who are moving into the low-income homes, that are moving into low-income homes that are not from our district. And so it's causing our district relatives to have to purchase these mobile homes, but there's nowhere to place them, so they're having to go outward. So it's almost turning itself inside out. I don't know how to explain that.
Well, we understand that. Because we see a lot of them. Every time we go around, there's always someone doing an illegal dump site. Because once somebody sees an abandoned trailer, then they all start throwing their trash in that lot. So it becomes hard on us, and we go and clean up the lots, and then again, someone else comes along, so I wish they were all full and everything was gone, the debris, but I don't know how to remedy that.
Sonia, are you done too?
Yes, thank you.
Sonia?
You know, we have a dump site out to Batesland, and I think they're asking us who is responsible for that dump site. Is it the county or is it you guys? It's a really terrible health issue, and I just want to bring it to the solid waste's attention. If we can get somebody to get out there and pick up that trash, because we keep getting our district members that live in that area, they said it's really bad, they sent us pictures of it.
Yeah,
So-
we've gone out there and cleaned it up numerous times, but again, that time when they drug all that metal in, that was a church. A church did that and then just spread it all over. So we go out there and we clean it up, and again, and we'll look at the mail, and the mail will have people from Gordon, and that is our land. The county gave that back
So
to
you
us.
guys are responsible for it.
So the deed is at the land office.
Okay, so could we maybe just bring it to your attention now,
Mhm.
that we really need that cleaned up, that the dump site out there by Batesland in the back. You know which one I'm talking about? Yeah, so they sent us pictures of it, doesn't look good. So I wanted to bring that to your attention since you guys are here.
Yeah, we did remove everything. We cleaned it all out. There was across the road and Batesland, they had a big fire. And instead of paying costs for us to come in and remove it, they tore it down and moved that over to the landfill. And so everybody just started, construction companies just started coming in and adding to it. So, but yeah, we'll get that remedy.
Maybe put some
And then
signs
when
up, you guys have it over here.
Yep.
Maybe those signs like that need to be posted out there so people will know.
Yeah, each transfer site do have signs.
And then it's part of our 105L that we're trying to update all the transfer sites with fencing, gating, hours of operation, cameras. So we're trying to do that.
Yeah.
The 105L is a long process, so
Okay.
it's in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys could do that, would really, I think they'll really appreciate that, because they're so tired of seeing it like that. So-
Yeah, when we looked at the mail, because there was gas getting dumped out there, the oil, it was all tractor stuff. So when we went looking at it, then it was people from Gordon.
Well, I think we need to put signs up, remember like we have over here, where to dump the oil and all of this.
And that's what they do, they steal our poles and they steal our signs. Yeah, they steal everything, so we're trying, and we'll get it done.
Okay.
That's good. Check.
Is there any plans in the future for recycling?
Recycling, is there any plans to, we can make money off recycling? That's not happening here, and that's why, I guess our dump sites kind of look like these trash dumps. We need to start figuring out ways how to reinvest and start recycling. And I asked this from the program director, I said, maybe we should go visit other successful sites, so like Rapid City, and see how they're doing it, and bringing those other ideas back, and start generating money and how we can put someone there and monitor those sites, because some of them look pretty terrible when they're not attended to in time, you know. So that's kind of what my question is there any talks amongst thing, your department, things like that, how to bring, I don't know, just change it around and bring revenue in based off, there's money in those things. But we need to organize.
So about a month ago, we came here with Ichaga and we passed a grant so that we could put in for a $100,000 grant to get that started. So we're partnershiping with Ichaga to help us with the Zon Corporation. We're gonna get all the household trash and take it to one site. We're using the 105L to upgrade the building at the Kyle transfer site, and that will be our processing building. So then all the household trash that can be recycled into those black posts that are can't be destroyed. We're gonna make those, and then he's gonna help us with the recycling program here in Pine Ridge. We're gonna refurbish the old solid waste, and that's where we'll be third partying out the oil, the freon, the aluminum, and the cardboard, because there's a big market for that.
Isn't there a machine, piece of equipment here in Pine Ridge that's not being utilized? I think it's the cardboard.
Well, that's what we have, and right now we hired a guy to change it from 1 phase to 3 phase, and he just milked the whole year.
So that's all we need is electrician?
Yeah, electrician to come in and to upgrade my 1 phase to a 3 phase. Because that building there was so old from the 90s, it can't support the electricity through that cardboard compressor.
Well, I think we need to do something about that, you know, it seems like an easy fix if you're an electrician. But things like that, we need to implement, you know, and get it going, start somewhere where we can start recycling.
And so putting in for this 100,000 grant would jumpstart that, so that we could get it bid out, because everything over, 75,000 has to be bidded out. So that's why. It's a start.
Thank you.
Julia?
Thank you. I think the president's on the right path, because 2 admins ago, we got support to start the recycling process, and I think that would encourage our relatives to start looking at the areas and cleaning up more, because if you all remember growing up, we used to have, I don't know how he did it, but the guy that was going towards White Clay, we'd all turn our cans and then make some money from that. So I'm not sure how he did that, but if we had something like that, one, we're cleaning up our reservation, but we're doing it in a safe way, and they're allowing our people to make a little bit of money from that as well on the aluminum side. I don't know. I think that's a good start.
So we put the cart before the horse and bought the bins. If you go by our old building, our bins are there for the cardboard and the aluminum. We were gonna start a pilot project, but then EPP, that director went out and it kind of fell to the wayside, but we're partnershiping with
Chance is the new director of EPP.
Cool. All right, so we'll partnership with him and start getting it going. But we were third partying with Ace Steel up in Rapid City. He's an enrolled member, and he was gonna help us start doing those things. And then with the Ichaga grant, they were gonna buy us 2 new compact trucks and 2 hook trucks. And we would be transporting the waste from the household trash all the way to Wagner to make those.
Real quick, go ahead. Done, Julie?
Thank you.
Go ahead. Campaign seems everybody's taking the speeches.
No, I just had some ideas, because, you know, when I was a plumber in Rapid City, we'd separate all the scrap metal, and we make a ton of money off of them, just off the scrap. That's what we need to be doing, is hauling our scrap, separating it, and hauling it, and recycling it. We can make money off of that. All those washers and dryers, we can refurbish those things. We just need to separate them. We gotta start doing something, because that's money right there.
Well,
That's
we
a lot
have
of
a
money.
metal guy that comes from Minnesota, and he hits all the places. And he started coming here because housing needed all the cars removed from their low income housing. So he came down and he's seeing the needs, so he comes down to our place once a month. We have a C&D pit behind our building, and so then we stage that for him, and then he comes and we get the revenue, and goes back into our program. So it's all our washers, our white goods and our metals. So when we're tearing down the trailer, that sits there for a minute, and then he comes and he goes all over, Rosebud, here, Lower Brule, he hits everywhere.
Norman?
This ain't gonna hurt or help me in any way, shape, or form, but one of our biggest producers of garbage on our reservation is Naha. And they come in and they fill our dumpsters, and you guys have to take care of it. I mean, there's boxes after boxes after boxes going in there. Who would get a hold of Naha to see if they can help us with our issue? Would that be you guys? Would you send a letter to us and forward it to Naha, asking that they give us the money back to haul their trash back off our reservation?
I don't even know how to remedy that, but the only way we could do it was to give it to this recycling, because we asked that question in that meeting with Wagner, to ask, or the Zon Corporation from Wagner, if they could use that. We could even use the organics from the, what's that, BAM's recycling out there. They need the organic stuff from One Spirit to feed this, so it could break everything down and we could make these posts. And everybody wants them. They had a company from Texas asking about them because of all the fires. They're indestructible, so everybody wants them now. So that's how we were gonna solve that problem with Naha. And then we had some guy asking if he could come buy the boxes for $30 a box. I don't know what that guy was. He just called last week. It was real weird.
From Naha?
From us, he wanted to come into our transfer sites and buy the boxes from us for $30 a box. So I have his number.
Send him down.
Send them to every site? I know, right? Exactly.
This one, I have one question. Since you did 30 mobile homes or chairs removed in Pine Ridge, is that the end for that? Because we want you in the other districts too.
We're just waiting for the extension.
I know, but waiting for the extension, but at the rate you're going, you're never gonna get to all the districts. That's what I'm saying. You know, let's be fair about these things. Anybody else have anything for solid waste?
One last comment real quick. You know about those abandoned trailers? I know I've gotten a couple of reports of people harboring those abandoned trailers. They're just sitting there, so it does cause a hazard. They're used for activities at night, things like that. They do things in there. So they do need to be evacuated.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The superintendent wants one more song to sing. And I told her we wanted it in writing. She's going to read then chant, I thought.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Gina Duville and I'm the superintendent of the Pine Ridge Agency. I'm just coming back to our discussion this morning on Masaska. I did get clarification from the solicitor and I passed that information on to Steve Gunn, who's, I believe he's still online. The reason for another resolution is that 25-59XB just addresses the pre-termination letter and the request for the BIA investigation. So that's the reason for another resolution.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chant says one thing.
Is it about Naha?
That's it.
He said,
Just one quick clarification off this morning. There was some miscommunication to me, but to move forward on the demo for the JLM building, we actually need a resolution for approval for the contract to go to Lake Creek Development. So.
Motion.
Second. Motion made, second, all in favor? Unanimous.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. That's all we have, motion adjourned.
Second.
Who motion? Hey. Somebody motion. Who? You're not even on the agenda.
No, I asked, it was coming out of your line. I asked.
That's already done, long time ago.
I know, but, okay, thank you. I asked them to do an application to lease that.
I put it on the mic, I can't hear you.
I asked them to do an application to lease. Denise Mestis gave it to me back in 2009, so I've been trying to get the lease contract renewed. I have documentation of resolutions of support and everything. If you don't want to meet on it today, I would like to give you copies because we do need that lease contract in place. And the last one I handed out was on a SD6. This is SD 1, 2, and 3, which is Northridge, Eastridge, and the Cherry, Coimon. So if you guys want to look it over, I'm more than happy to give it to you, but we need to start somewhere because Mr. Holder applied for a grant, and we need a certified TSR in order to not pay back the grant, and it's for renovations in Pine Ridge. I stated that last time, and I gave you SD6 rather than the ones that were necessary. But I want to hand them out, and you can meet on it next time, but I kind of need it ASAP. And then there's the resolution of histories with it. So each of you know there's 2 copies each. So housing needs to function on these contracts in order to get funding. And sometimes, and I'll tell you my history with it, I've given this to Ernie Little, who's my supervisor. He passed it forward because we believe in the chain of command. So we went that route, and I went through 4 attorneys, Rebecca Kidder, Mike Novotny, and there was another one, I can't remember his name, but anyway, to bring it to council to do the resolutions of support. My understanding is a resolution continues on, but it's the lease contract that's attached to that resolution. And so the 50 years is up, and we really need that. We really do. We have all the attachments there.
Okay. Thank you for bringing us. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll review it.
See you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn, Chair.
So, I want to know about this. The big one and the few ones. That's cool. Everybody wants some Frank?
I don't know, you'll have to talk to Yama.
Why not? I'm gonna go up there and get the burger over here. Where'd you get it?
We heard Jeff was feeling, so yeah.
Who's that?
Like she buzzed.
One of those traditional things. He's tourists of that.
See y'all tomorrow.
Recording stopped.